Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, this is Sue.
Hi,
And
Sue.
I'm with Paula. I'm with Cynthia. So I'm going to start and just look at the first question, what I've learned about peer supervision. So for me, it was fairly easy to say that it was hard to be critical of other people in terms of their work. And when I first filled out the synchronous session critical feedback, I didn't sleep that night. um, because I was really worried about hurting people's feelings. Did I take it too far? Was I too harsh? But you know what? I know in our readings we talked about the fact that when you're providing peer supervision, it's essential to have that critical point of view, right? Because you want to make sure that you're helping that other person, and it's going to forward our cause. Um, I think that peer supervision also helped to confirm me. It affirmed me and it really stretched me in terms of what I do for a living. So there were a lot of things I was happy to know that other people were doing, other people were struggling with, and to learn new things. And finally, that I really admired the knowledge and experience and strengths that everybody else brought to the forefront. I can't believe that everybody here knows so much and was able to bring so much to the table. I learned a lot from all of you. So, and then finally for me, the resources are out there that I didn't know about. So that was very helpful for me, especially when looking at that macro perspective as well. How do you influence systems? Which I'm always very excited about. So anyway, that's my part for that.
Oh, that's excellent. I wish I could just say ditto because
Yeah.
I share your reflections on the peer supervision definitely. I thought with the synchronous sessions, that was one of the most valuable. I mean, there were so many valuable parts of this course, but that was definitely a really valuable one. It did stretch me in responding to people's case scenarios, and I found it also difficult at first to get kind of into the groove of doing that, but once I started, it definitely got much easier.
Yes.
And I saw the benefit to myself as well, like you said, so it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the peer supervision as well. I know in my workplace I engage in lots of peer supervision, and sometimes it can feel very isolating if you don't have others to kind of reflect. So I really appreciated our group as well as an affirming process. I think we were very supportive to each other, and not only in learning in the concepts of the lenses, but supporting each other in this journey that we're on collectively. So that was very, very valuable to me. I agree, Sue, in the beginning, giving back feedback because, it's kind of like you're not sure where everyone's starting place is in regards to people's own lived journeys. And so you want to be very respectful and very aware that people may have certain things that are informing their viewpoint, and you don't want to assume that, when you got to really reduce it to very short number of words, that what you reflect on, you want it to be about your discovery, or that's how I wanted it for myself, my discovery, but also pose perhaps an alternative wonderment about some of the points that were considered.
For sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. Are we okay to go on to the next question, or did you need more to talk about there?
Nope, that sounds great.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention about peer supervision is that I do have a lot of people coming to me at the jail. It's a very dynamic, fluid situation there, and there are a lot of challenges, a lot of different people working there. So I tend to have people come to my office to talk to me a lot about what they're struggling with through the day. And one thing I found is I'm taking more risks. So I'm taking more risks to stretch them, and it's feeling very good. And I think it's very helpful and it's positive, as opposed to just listening and saying, affirming people. It's kind of like, did you think about it this way? And it seems to be helping. So I'm really proud of that. But anyway, I will go on to the next one. What I've gained from the course. again, I will be more brave and take more risks in regard to mutual collaboration with clients. So I think while I knew that I was respectful and genuine, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Empathic, all of those things, that intention and caring is not enough. That we have to take those risks and be brave. And some of the things I already did in those relationships, like just using disclosure, judiciously, but using disclosure, building relationships, being respectful, not pathologizing people, and it still doesn't make it an equitable situation, right? So just learning how to make that more equitable and to work towards social justice is going to be a big focus for me. I need to practice critical social work every day. That's one thing I've learned, so I'm going to do that to stay focused. I want to engage in supervision on a regular basis. I have not been doing that in my career recently, so I am going to seek that out. And I think ethically that's a good thing to do. And I learned that I can influence other people in many more ways to practice decolonizing types of practices with people. And working at the jail, it's a really fertile place to work to use that. So I'm hoping that's going to help me with my job there, and just help to inspire some of the other workers there to look at positive stuff that we can do and social justice types of work that we can do. So, but that's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. I found this hard to narrow down, and I feel like I still need to sit with some of the information. I know we've talked in some of our other meetings. Cynthia, you had highlighted that you felt like it would have been nice to have a bit more space in the course to be able to sit with some of the concepts and just live in those for a little bit. And I definitely agree and feel that way as well. I am seeing changes in myself and in my practice just as I've moved through this course. I mentioned that I am new to the supervisor role, and at first I wasn't sure exactly how this would apply, but of course it definitely does. And giving that feedback to my workers in a way that maybe I hadn't before, and having them think about things that that maybe they hadn't also thought about. So we've been talking at our agency about enhancing clinical supervision, because I think it's something that's really lacking. I work in child welfare, and we're very standard driven. Ministry has lots of requirements of us. Right now, I know it's feeling for a lot of supervisors like we're going through a checklist to make sure all these sort of tasks are covered off. But I think it's so important that we bring critical reflection into supervision. So I will be doing that for sure. I've already been sharing some of my thoughts with our director group as well, because they want to look at how we can enhance and change our practice. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to be at this position in the agency, to be able to influence some change in how we deliver service and how we support our staff and our clients. So I think it's, I'm really excited and feel like it's a really good place. Anne's toolkit, and Anne, hopefully you're okay with this. I should probably check in with you. But I have shown it to one of our directors whose focus is on equity and AOP. And they were really excited about the toolbook, and we were already talking about maybe ways we can implement some of it. So I'm so happy that I've been able to bring that to the agency. So yeah.
That's wonderful, Paula. And can I just mention that you look so much more confident and happy now? Not that you weren't before, but yeah. I think you just weren't in the beginning sure how it was going to fit. But now yes. You're just excited, I think. Yes. I'm feeling from you. So
Thank you. Yeah, it feels like it's clicked.
Yeah.
Like it was hesitant, and it was I was wading in the waters, and and now I feel good.
Yeah, because you kept saying to us every time we talked to you, you kept saying, I don't know, I'm in a supervisory position. I don't know how this is going to fit.
Yeah, and doing research work with my placement, right? So, yeah.
That's great, though.
I think too, I think the last week we haven't had all the reading requirements. So I know for myself, I've been able to go back and have kind of a second look at things. And that's been really, really helpful. It kind of like, okay, what does it mean now that I've gone through all the lenses and what stands out for me? I too really liked Anne's toolkit. I spent some time tonight going through the root cause analysis one on page 12, because when I had started the program, I found myself kind of in a transformative place already of trying to integrate feminist-based practice and anti-oppressive practice within child welfare and trying to make sense of that, because we have overrepresentation of marginalized individuals, and trying to find my fit for that. So I found this course in particular, going through the lenses, really kind of held me accountable to locating within myself, but within my agency, and then within the bigger community. Because one thing that I run into every day is the dominant discourse that's out there in community partners, and then when families that I'm partnering with are running into these mainstream discourses, and how do we manage that? So going through the root cause analysis again tonight was really helpful. One thing that stands out for me, and I've read this article a couple of times, Rossiter's 2001, Innocence Lost and Suspicion Found. And boy, it stands out for me, and it's such a powerful read. Do we educate for or against social work? And I'm not sure where it sits with me and where I'm at with it, but I'm doing a lot of reflection on it, because, when I first read, I thought, wow, like that's so powerful and that's so strong and it's such a big position. And, I don't want to throw out, all that I feel so good about in social work. But yet when we talk about trespass and we talk about innocence and we talk about the history, it's really important that we interact with that information and be aware of it, of how we're located with that. So I really appreciate this course's reflection on all those elements. And I would love to see Amy Rossiter, and I would love to learn a little more and for her to stretch me a little more about that. But, I have to say, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I hope there is room for us to feel good about what we do every day and to honor people in a very respectful way. Mm-hmm. And so when I did my mission statement, I initially at the beginning of the course, I did the reflecting on what was it, the one where you reflect on yourself, the knowing self, a starting place. And and I went through that, and I thought I knew myself very well. And then tonight I did it again, and I thought, wow, like I've grown over this process, and it's so important to see how your process can stretch over the process.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Cynthia,
we have 2 minutes left.
Sorry, Cynthia, I think you're the bomb. I really do. I just want to tell you that. You're there,
I know.
I have a long way to go. I'll tell you, this course, stretched me so big. Yesterday I was in a meeting with a system navigator, and she was just feeling so beat up, and Anne's voice was in my mind of like, how do you do that? How do you keep going upstream when it's beaten against you? And she was being beaten down. And I said, I want you to step out of that. I want you to step out of that. And we're going to go for advocacy here, and we're going to stretch this. And once she had partnership to do that, we were able to do what we needed to do. But, Anne's message is there for me.
That's wonderful.
That's amazing. You are an amazing teacher, I think. I think Sue and I could both agree that we've learned a lot from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to wrap up with just some final thoughts? I don't think we're going to be able to get to our full mission statements, but did either of you want to say anything about the mission statements? We have 1 minute left.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
I was just going to say that I wrote it, and then I read Amy Rossiter, and then I scribbled out a bunch of stuff and gave it more consideration. And then I read her first paragraph again, and I thought, I really like to see what Amy Rossiter would say about this, because I really need to know, this idea, this duality of helper and helpee is something that I have to stretch and I have to grow, because in this idea of representing voice, I need to find my location there, because I think we do have privileged bias of seeing ourselves as helpers, and I need to move away from that. And how do I define that? How do I language that in a way that has equity in it?
Yeah. Excellent.
Excellent. I think that's a good thought to leave us with.
Yep.
I'm just going to oops, turn off the video.